So, apparently this event is being called In Too Deep. I guess I'm not the only one that remembers beloved early 2000s rock rap groups. You know, 'cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep above my head instead of going under.
Under the surface of the earth?
I guess. Yes, you know, Sum 41, classic, will never age, never be dated at all.
I'm sure that doesn't make you sound incredibly old to the intended audience of this show. I don't know by that whether I mean the vlogs or Steven Universe.
I don't know. I think everyone just wants to forget that happened. Sum 41, I mean. Anyway. Welcome to the proper Steven Universe vlogs, with actual new episodes and stuff. So I'm Slider, and I'm joined, as usual, by the wonderful Manga Lover.
Hi.
Hello. So, we'll be going with the first episode as it is. That would be, what's it called? Super Watermelon Island.
Something like that, yeah. When I saw that title, I thought, it'll just be a cute, quirky, slightly weird introductory episode to the season. Nothing too serious.
Anyway, let's get on what actually happens in this episode. So, the episode starts with steaming. What a steaming. Yeah, steaming. No, that's different episodes, but, this episode starts with, Steven dreaming and somehow becoming one of the Watermelon Stevens, because he can do that now.
Apparently.
And we find them since last time when they vanished, or banished, I guess. And they've created their own civilization on an island.
As you do.
And like all island civilizations, it seems, they've decided that they need to sacrifice themselves to appease their god, which is Malachite, who is back. Steven wakes up and tells Gems about Malachite, of course, and they try to stop them by fusing into Alexandrite, I believe it is.
Yes, I believe so.
They have a pretty awesome battle, but on the losing end of that battle, until Steven heads back to possess another Watermelon Steven, and he is able to convince the townsfolk to rise up against Malachite and fight them. While they can't defeat them, they do distract Malachite enough so that Alexandrite can properly finish her off. But the warp pad was unfortunately destroyed after all that, and Malachite is defeated, split up, Jasper vanishes, and Lapis is caught. But the warp pad is destroyed, and Steven now has to wake up and deal with the cluster with Peridot. And that's how the episode ends. So yeah, pretty major introduction episode for this season.
I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I remember reading that the original plan was that this was going to be the second half of season 2 rather than the intro to a season.
Yes.
But now it's the intro to the season, and it's a pretty heavy-duty intro. They get right down to it.
I mean, it's still pretty interesting because they had specifically planned on the major events ending even the half seasons. So it feels like they changed their mind even with that, even ignoring the season change, which I'm fine with. It just, Anyway, a lot of cool stuff happened this episode. Going through my notes.
Yeah, I mean, my notes start off thinking it's so incredibly cute, and then the next note is just in all caps, what the unholy shit fuck. I'm guessing that's when Malachite appeared.
Yes, that sounds about right. First of all, actually before that, I love this civilization.
I'm just so happy that the melons are, like, alive and apparently happy and growing
happy.
Baby melons.
Yeah, I think I like it because it's kind of like this mix of, like, it's kind of cute and funny, but it's also, like, with some weird implications. Like, you're basically growing children. They're like, the farmers are like storks, basically.
They're literally growing children.
Yeah, but the best part, of course, is the watermelon doggy.
It's so cute.
Little watermelon doggy. There's watermelon chickens, watermelon horses. This is amazing.
The best kind of civilization. And I especially love the reveal that it's like, I legitimately thought Steven was dreaming this, and like, no, it's a real melon civilization.
Yes, and again, he can somehow possess the watermelons.
Because Steven.
That actually reminds me of, like, certain video games, maybe not many video games, but, like, the type where you can, like, just possess a character in the game, and then you just suddenly control them all of a sudden.
And he does, like, body jump when one body gets destroyed. So,
yes, that too. That was really cool. And, if you think about it, Stephen was basically killed in this form.
Yeah, that
Malachite murdered him, or ate him, I'm not sure anymore. I guess it makes sense, but I don't know, I just have so many questions about the civilization. Like, how did Malachite get involved in this in the first place?
Wondering about these poor sat watermelons. I'm wondering what the ocean currents are like around there, because these poor sat watermelons have washed up inside the society around the place Malachite wound up. So there definitely some unlucky choice of ocean currents around there.
Yes. Like Paradox said in a recent episode, despite their unfortunate, what was it when they said, what's he said about their unfortunate place of home or whatever it was?
Something like that, I think. Can't remember. Oh, speaking of Peridot, I just love how, Steven's all upset that the gems want him to stay behind. And she says, like, so why don't you just disobey them? Isn't that kind of your guys' thing?
Don't you? Isn't rebelling your guys' thing?
The rebel life.
That fair enough. Oh yeah, though I loved the other, probably the best line. Even it's not a full line, but Steven's just like, they have a lovely community, but
they may be sacrificing members of the community to Malachite.
Yeah.
Which is fun, I'm sure. I was quite happy to finally get to actually see Malachite again. I'm like, right, well, plot is happening. This is good plot. I'm glad this plot is happening.
And now she's gone.
Yep.
That fight was
we actually
awesome.
got to see Alexandrite form this time, because I think last time we didn't see her form. She just kind of toned up, all giant and multi-armed. But we both got to see her form and really got to look at her fight. I always love the fusion dances and music they do to form, and this was like my favourite 5-second dance sequence I've ever seen.
I guess so.
Did we know that Alexandrite could breathe fire?
No, I don't think so.
I'm glad we know that now. I'm really happy to have that information.
This is probably the most Avatar-y fight of the series so far. I mean, what else can you call it?
There was also a bit Magical Girl about the part where Alexandrite fires her bow and it looks like the crystal gems for a minute.
Yes.
That was...
That was obviously a callback to, like, the Rose Cannon thing.
I think so. It's just very magical. Also, when the melon people get involved, there was a certain point where I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of, like, the Ewoks fighting in Return of the Jedi. And
I guess so.
When they turn up in the hang gliders, they look exactly like the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi.
That's the other thing that actually...
Where they trip Malachite, that's exactly like tripping an ATS. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, no, there was no way there was not a massive Star Wars fan choreographing this scene.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Though again, that also reminded me of Avatar, what was it, the Northern Air Temple episode?
Yes. That also invoked a bit of that.
Though, to be fair, that probably was also inspired by Star Wars.
What wasn't?
The Bible, I think. Probably.
Well, see, Star Wars did happen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, so... You never know.
Darth Vader died for your sins.
The Jedi could have come before Christianity. You don't know that it didn't.
But seriously, that fight was just really, really cool.
Yeah, it was. It was silly, but at the same time, it was really amazing to watch. And it was really intense because you had, Alexandrite and Malachite were very evenly matched.
Yes, and Malachite was still winning despite being one less gem of a fusion.
Yeah, and also made of conflicted gems who were fighting each other over whether or not they wanted to fight at all.
I think it's just kind of like that Lapis is just given up at that point.
Yeah, the bit where they defuse, I'm just like, I don't care about Jasper, somebody catch Lapis, somebody catch Lapis.
Yeah.
Please let Lapis be okay and happy now.
That's a note I have here. Just, goodbye, Jasper, you are a failure.
Yeah, I just have R.I.P. Jasper.
I think I'll have other things to say that are similar, but Jasper is like the ultimate failure of this series. She just loses. She's a threat for like a minute, and then she just loses. Is gone. Yeah. Now she's gonna go to some new story that will come back in the next season, I'm sure. And then she'll be fail again at that. Yeah,
she's just fallen into the bowels of the earth to come back and, fuck shit up in the future at an inopportune time.
Yeah. By the way, did you see that someone actually put out a Vine that put out, like, some sort of Sarah McLachlan song as someone just screamed, Jasper, no! No!
If you want sad background music, Sarah McLachlan is just your go-to.
Yeah. So that episode happened, and then it goes straight into the next episode.
It does. There's one other bit I like. It's like we only see 3 of the melons actually wearing clothing, like the priest one and the presumably daddy melon and wife melon who now have a baby melon. You know, I'm just assuming that they're meant to be male and female. They are all watermelons of Stephen, so you never know. And then the bit where you see all the melons going off to war, it's the melon wife going off to war and the melon husband staying behind to look after the baby, which makes sense given that they're all made from, Stephen, whose mother was a alien warrior princess and whose father stayed home to look after the baby.
Yes.
I always like that, taking a moment of some classic trope and subverting it.
Yeah, and do it in a way that isn't overly telegraphed.
No, it's half a second shot and then it's on to the Ewok fighting.
Yeah, that was fun. I will say, actually one last thing I did like was how Malachite just found it amusing that they were fighting. You stupid little things, why are you trying to fight me?
I made a good distraction.
Yeah.
So that happened, and now they have Lapis home, safe, and everything is over.
Yay, thank God.
I'm sure nothing horrible will happen in episode 2.
Thank God, Lapis. I missed you. No, I was seriously worried about Lapis. As soon as Peridot joined the Crystal Gems, I thought Lapis was screwed.
Like, I desperately want Lapis to be okay, but I feel like she's just gonna, more horrible things.
Oh, no. Oh,
Lapis. She's the character who's been pigeonholed
sweetie.
to suffer, forever. I don't want her to suffer. I want her to be okay.
We need happy Lapis.
We do.
Happy Lapis forever.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what it's going to be like when she wakes up and, finds out that they've kind of pissed off Yellow Diamond and she's coming to presumably kill them all. To say nothing of, everything else that's going on and indeed under the earth.
Yeah, and, well, I guess, do you have anything else to add?
Not really. The vast majority of my notes are about episode 2.
Okay then.
Yeah, I do think we need to talk about the 2 of them together, because, wow. What
Yeah,
a way
okay.
to start a season.
Let's end this one and go on to the next.
Woo!
Yay.